Live from 3Com Park in San Francisco, our second of a three-game series featuring your first-place Milwaukee Brewers and the defending National League Western Division champions San Francisco Giants. And welcome back to 3Com Park in San Francisco. Matt Vasgersian and Bill Schroeder. A little nicer, a lot less windy, and some sunshine for this matinee affair between the Brewers and Giants. Last night's game one of the series going the way of the Brewers, now 4-0 against San Francisco. Seemingly, it's been a win for the Brewers in different fashion in each of the four games.
Well, it's amazing. The Brewers just are able to find ways to win. Last night in the first inning, they're down 3-0. Scott Carl couldn't find his control, but they just kept pecking away, getting some big base hits. Scott was able to calm down, and that bullpen, again, as usual, came through.
Well, there were so many stories with last night's ball game. Jeremy Burnitz with a 3-run home run. He ties Rob Deere's club record for RBI in April. And an outstanding Major League debut by young left-handed slugger Jeff Jenkins. A guy spends his whole life dreaming of getting to the big leagues. Jeff Jenkins never could have imagined in his wildest dreams what a great debut he would have.
You know, it was great just to be here. First of all, I had a lot of family here, and it was just nice to get out there and get that first hit out of the way early on. Yeah, I just went out there and looked for something, pitch up in the zone to hit, and luckily I was able to get something to drive.
It has to feel good, obviously, having an opportunity to help the ball club. This team's playing very well. You guys were swinging the bats pretty well in Louisville, too.
Yeah, you know, everybody's swinging the bat well. I just happened to be the right guy in the right spot, and, you know, Jaha got hurt and somebody went down, and they just needed a bat to, you know, fill in for a little bit. So the best thing I can do is just come up here and try to give them a little help off the bench or start or do whatever I can do to help the club, you know, stay in first place. So I'm just up here to do what I can.
Indeed, a great Major League debut by young Jeff Jenkins. And as we turn the page on game one and open up game two today, a good pitching matchup featuring a couple of starters that threw the ball well their last time out in the rotation at County Stadium. Right-hander Paul Wagner for the Brewers and southpaw Kirk Reuter for San Francisco.
Oh, Kirk Reuter has good stuff. He throws a fastball and a changeup. In his last start at County Stadium, Reuter really had the Brewer batters befuddled. They really couldn't get good contact. Paul Wagner's been throwing the ball well. The earned run average a bit high, but he seems to be getting a little bit more consistent.
It'll be Wagner that will look to uphold that great standard of the Brewers leading all of Major League Baseball in earned run average at the start of play today. Your first place Brewers and the San Francisco Giants, the second of a three-game series. Glad to have you with us on MSC this afternoon. Stay with us. Starting lineups and opening pitch right after this. And welcome back to 3Com Park in San Francisco. Matt Vasgersian, Bill Schroeder, and producer-director Gary Kirby with you this afternoon. Mother Nature alike nicer to the Brewers and Giants today than she was a night ago when the wind was a swirling and it was a cold one at Candlestick. Called it 3Com last night. The Brewers, weather notwithstanding, put up a great showing once again, a 7-5 victory. Their fourth consecutive over the San Francisco team. A team that is growing very, very tired of the National League's newest entry, the Milwaukee Brewers. There is already a nice rivalry that's developed between these two teams. It stems in no large part to the Brewers' dominance over the Giants early in the season. It has been an awesome April. Only one better after 21 games in Brewer history, and that was back in 1987. The Bill Schroeder-led team streak.
Oh, you're too kind. 18-1 the Brewers started out that season, and they've lost a couple if you take into consideration the 18-3, but a 15-6 start for the Brewers. You couldn't really ask for anything better than that. Playing very well on the road in particular. 7-4 at County Stadium, 7-2. I should say 8-2 away from County Stadium. That's a big change from last year.
Certainly is. And an 8-2 record away from home is the best road record in the major leagues at the start of play this afternoon. In fact, there's only one team with a better overall record in Major League Baseball at the start of play, and that's the National League Western Division leading San Diego Padres. This is the way the Brewers will line up against left-hander Kirk Reuter here today. It'll be Fernando Vina, ninth best batting average at the start of play in the National League, to lead things off at second base. Mark Loretta batting second at first base today. Bump to the 3-hole, it's third baseman Jeff Cirillo. Again, all this in the absence of John Jaha. Right fielder Jeremy Burnitz with a huge night yesterday. Bats cleanup. Marquise Grissom in center, hits number 5. Mark Newfield is in left field this afternoon, batting number 6. Valentin Matheny and Wagner round out the Brewers lineup card today.
Oh, and here's a defense as announced by Dusty Baker. Very Bond, Stan Javier, Marvin Bernard. That's a change. That's his first start against the Brewers this year. Miller Sanchez, Kent, and J.T. Snow. Very good defensive infield for the San Francisco Giants. Brian Johnson behind the plate, and on the mound, Kirk Reuter today.
Nice day in San Francisco, certainly. The wind is still a factor. We're blowing at 15 degrees, 15 knots that is, but it is a very pleasant 65 degrees in the stands. A lot of fans dressed in t-shirts and shorts this afternoon. We're expecting more fine weather for tomorrow's series finale before the Brewers head to Los Angeles on Monday. Umpires this afternoon, Joe West is calling balls and strikes. Crew chief Jim Quick at third. Second base umpire Kerwin Danley at first. Jeff Kellogg. Certainly the officials were part of the story a night ago with a rather controversial call in the ninth inning. That was ruled a double play on a line shot hit to Jeff Cirillo. It would really suck the wind out of the Giants' late comeback sails. And from that point on out, Doug Jones would coast and the Brewers would lock up a 7-5 win.
And the Brewers really getting all the breaks early in the season. That could have easily gone the other way. Could have been a double. They would have been second and third with a lot of trouble. But there you see the numbers on Kirk Reuter. He pitched a dandy at County Stadium in a no decision. 2-1, 3.33 earned run average. Walks a bit high. 13 walks, 12 strikeouts. He throws a straight fastball and a changeup. Not too many breaking balls.
There you see the line on Reuter his last time out in Milwaukee. Pitched into the 7th inning. Got into a little bit of trouble, and at the first sign of trouble, Dusty Baker went to his bullpen with 2 away in the 7th. The Brewers would go on to win that ball game in extra innings. Reuter at one point had retired 13 in a row. Little mini update on the umpire situation. That's home plate umpire Joe West working without a second base official. Third base umpire is Jim Quick, and at first is Jeff Kellogg. Kerwin Danley, who we had indicated just a moment ago would be out there at second base, we're told over the wire just now, will not be at this afternoon's ball game due to a death in the family. So we're working with 3 officials here this afternoon. Seen this a couple of times already early this season. First pitch of the game from Kirk Reuter's in for a strike. Fernando Vina 0 for 4 yesterday. Batting average still a little lofty, 356. Hit on the ground to second. Kent to his left to Snow, and there's one away.
Well, Fernando's been in what you would probably consider a mini slump. 0 for his last 15, but he has been able to get on base. Showing a few walks in there, but even when Fernando doesn't get on base, the Brewers seem to be able to overcome it and still win ball games.
One away now for Mark Loretta. Loretta last started on Sunday at shortstop at County Stadium. Certainly can't help but notice the reshuffled lineup card this afternoon for Phil Garner, with Loretta out there at first base against the left-handed starter Kirk Reuter, batting in the 2-hole. Jeff Cirillo dropped into the 3 spot.
Particularly with a left-hander out there, he wasn't comfortable with Valentin in the number 3 hole. Valentin, a much better left-handed hitter. He would have had to hit right-handed, so you move Cirillo down and you stick Loretta. Not a bad number 2 guy.
Fly ball to right for Marvin Bernard. And quickly there are 2 away. The big picture in the Central Division of the National League, with the Brewers having won 2 in a row at 15-6, atop the pack by 2.5 over St. Louis, 3.5 over Chicago and Houston, Pittsburgh and Cincinnati to follow in the Central. In the West, Giants scuffling, losers of their last 3. At 10-12, they've slipped to 3rd place, 6.5 back of San Diego.
It's going to be tough to catch San Diego. Anybody.
One ball, no strikes on Jeff Cirillo. All the early season prognosticators telling us that the National League Central was the worst division in baseball. calling it the Comedy Central. That has not been the case to start the year. That omnipresent wind always plays a factor here. Blown out pretty good to right today. Chip shot back to Reuter on the mound, who gets to it and throws out Jeff Cirillo. Reuter retires the Brewers quickly in the top of the first. No runs, no hits, no errors. The score after a half inning of baseball. Brewers 0. Giants coming to bat. Yeah, the Brewers go down quickly and quietly at the hand of Kirk Reuter in the top of the first inning this afternoon. Time for the Giants to take some swings against Brewers starter Paul Wagner. Here's how Dusty Baker lines him up. He, too, has shaken up his lineup dramatically for this afternoon's. Marvin Bernard will make a rare start and lead things off in right field. Bill Miller batting second at third base. Barry Bonds in left, bats number 3. Jeff Kent, the second baseman, hits cleanup in the 5 spot. First baseman J.T. Snow, who had the night off as a starter yesterday. In center, Stan Javier batting number 6. Sanchez, Johnson, and Reuter to round out the Giants lineup card today.
Well, a couple of changes defensively behind Paul Wagner this afternoon. Mark Newfield gets the start in left field. Jeff Jenkins was out there last night. And as Matt mentioned, Mark Loretta at first base. It was Bob Hamlin in last night's ball game.
So Marvin Bernard set to start things out against right-hander Paul Wagner for the Brewers today. See the numbers on Wags at 1-1, 5.40 ERA. The win came last weekend at County Stadium against his same Giants team. Paul pitched a very good ball game, 5 2/3. Allowed just 1 run on 5 hits, struck out 3, did not walk a batter.
Well, and that's the key for Wagner. If he's going to struggle, it will be early, and control was his problem in his first couple of starts. Still trying to fine-tune that changeup that he was working on in spring training. Good fastball, very good slider. Let me see the numbers against the Giants at home. 1 earned run, no walks. Pitched well.
Down to 2-2 now on Marvin Bernard. Now this is Paul Wagner's 4th start of the year. And as you pointed out when we were up here chit-chatting prior to the game, Bill, all of them have come in the sunshine. All date starts.
Well, Wagner really hasn't had a normal routine. As you take a look at the Brewers interim pitching coach, Billy Castro.
That sprayed to Cirillo. He was tucked in nicely at third base, had positioned well for Bernard, and there's 1 away for Wagner in the first.
As we talked about in last night's ball game, Don Rose stayed back in Milwaukee, had chest discomfort after the game on Thursday, and he's doing very well. Actually, he's back in California at home and will join the team in Los Angeles.
That is good news indeed.
Yeah.
1 away for Bill Miller now. Whereas so much of this Giant lineup has gone cold, and that explains a lot of their recent struggles. Miller's been one that started to heat up a little bit. He's hit safely in 6 out of his last 7 ball games. Barry Bonds, another guy waiting on deck, is starting to heat up. He went yard last night. 2-1.
Giants didn't swing the bats all that bad last night. They got off to a great start. 3 runs in the first inning. Got some base hits. Finally started to score some runs. But the pitching wasn't there for him.
Miller's aboard. A solid single back up the middle.
Well, Bill Miller, a switch hitter. His best side is the left side. You can see why. He stays right on that sinker and slams it up the middle. Pretty much of a gap type hitter. Isn't going to hit a lot of home runs. Good swing. Base hit.
One on, one out for Bonds now. Bonds just 2 for 15 against Brewer pitching this year. Homered yesterday against Scott Carl midway through. Brought the Giants a little closer. Take a look at those numbers. The Giants over their last 8 ball games just have not been hitting.
That's not going to last forever. Hopefully the Brewers will get out of town before they start getting hot. Very good offensive ball club, but they're off to a slow start.
Ball and a strike on Barry Bonds. Miller off first with one away.
The home run that Bonds hit in last night's ball game against Scott Carr was a 3-1 pitch, a fastball about mid-thigh. Barry Bonds likes the ball down in the zone. Doesn't matter if it's away or in on him. He likes it down. You can get him to chase high fastballs, though. But you have to be careful. You better make them up. You make a mistake and the ball won't come back.
Barry Bonds with some history against Paul Wagner. He's had some success against Wags. 3 for 10 career. Both of them brought up with the Pirates family. 2-2 now. Always the center of controversy is Barry Bonds. Got it off to a rousing start in spring training this year when he told the assembled media that as soon as he reached the 400 mark, or the 500 mark, 500 stolen bases, 500 home runs, he was going to hang him up. And he quickly rescinded that offer.
Well, I'd retire too once I got 500 home runs and 500 stolen bases. Wouldn't you?
I think that'd be enough for me.
That's enough.
Sure.
The heck. Yeah.
Yeah, he needs just 22 home runs to reach the 400 club. After thinking about it overnight, he said, "No, I think I want to go for 600. And he told the media the next day, I'll stick around.
Okay.
I'll be all right."
Still a young kid. Not all that old. Got a lot of time left.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Bonds. You figure at 33 years old, he's got a good 5-6 more years of big-time productivity left in him.
You bet. Slows down a little bit, go over to the American League and DH for a while.
There you go. 2-2 is high, and he gets away from Matheny. Miller to second on what will be scored as a wild pitch.
Now you can see Wagner trying to overthrow just a little bit. He wants the ball up in the strike zone and trying to reach back and just let that one go. That one airmailed. Probably going to get out as a wild pitch. Yep.
So Miller in scoring position now. A full count to Bonds with 1 away. Scoreless bottom of the first, more or less just underway here this afternoon from 3Com Park in San Francisco. Popped him up, this one heading for the seats. Cirillo is there near the tarp. And it looked like Jeff lost it in the sun.
Yeah.
Either that or somebody knocked him down with that net. You'd be kidding me.
Well, Phil Gardner's going over to Jim Quick and saying that one of the fans interfered with Cirillo's ability to catch the baseball.
Oh, Phil is absolutely. Look at that net. How do you let the guy bring that thing into the yard? This ain't Bassmasters, folks. Leave the fishing net at home.
It's not a muskie out there.
The thing was huge. Let's take a look at that big old net. I think Cirillo caught this out of the corner of his eye and backed off.
There it is. I never got near it, though. Look at that net. That's a crabbing net. That's not a fish net.
A crabbing net?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Sure.
All right.
I used to go crabbing back in New Jersey. I know what a crabbing net looks like.
Crabbing in New Jersey?
Yeah. In the backyard.
You have to flush the toxins out of them after you catch them, I'm sure, huh?
No.
Sorry.
Yeah, you don't need them. Throw them back.
You know what that looked like, actually? That big old net. It looked like a claymore. There's the next 3-2 pitch to Bonds. He got him swinging. 2 away.
Well, that's the pitch that Wagner wanted a couple offerings ago. The high fastball. We said that Bonds will chase high pitches, particularly with 2 strikes. Trying to be a bit too aggressive up in the strike zone, swings right through it. Well, if you're going to pitch Bonds up there, you better have something on the ball, and obviously Wagner did.
Two gone now for Jeff Kent.
No, we did officially find out what a claymore was.
Yeah, and you know what? Got a letter from a fan, a nice letter from a fan. I'm rifling through my stuff now, and I can't find it.
I was actually given a picture of one.
Were you?
Yeah. It's like a sword. A big sword.
Yeah, exactly.
And for those fans who don't know what exactly we're talking about, what country were the claymores from?
Scottish.
It's in the European Football League, and you're wondering what a claymore was. That's what it is.
There's a strike to Jeff Kent as he tried to check the swing. Look at me. I am just a picture of disorganization right now. I'm rifling through my stuff, and I can't find that letter. Sometimes I amaze myself how I get up out of bed in the morning and find both my socks. Fan took the time to write us a nice letter, and I can't find the blasted thing. Oh, well. 0-1 to Kent, swung on and fouled back. 2 away, a runner at second for Paul Wagner here in the bottom of the first. Coming into the season, Paul Wagner had faced the Giants a number of times while with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Career record of 0-1 against San Francisco over 18 innings at 3.50 ERA. 0-2 to Kent, got him swinging. Kent going after that knee-high fastball. Strikeouts to Bonds, and Kent with the runner in scoring position for Paul Wagner. We'll go to the second, scoreless. You're watching Brewers baseball on MSC. Tomorrow afternoon, those of you in the Milwaukee area can catch our telecast on WCGV TV 24. For the rest of you in the state of Wisconsin, we'll be telecast on MSC. Tomorrow, Game 3, the finale between the Brewers and Giants in this series from 3Com Park. Join us tomorrow at 3 p.m. Jeremy Burnitz leads off the second for the Brewers. Takes a look at a called strike 3.
Now Kurt Reuter starting on up where he finished off in Milwaukee. Brewer batters had a tough time figuring the left-hander out. Good four-seam fastball right on the outside corner. Seemed like the Brewer batters are unsure about what he's throwing. We talked about the good changeup, and that makes that 85 to 88 mile-an-hour fastball appear a lot quicker. A lot of jam shots out on the end. It's very difficult for a pitcher to do, particularly with only 2 pitches.
Marquise Grissom was hitless last night, 0 for 4. He did drive in a run yesterday. 2-0. Kirk Reuter was the guy last year when Sean Estes, who was a staff ace for most of last season, had tired. It was Reuter that picked up the slack and pushed his club over the hump. And a fly ball to center for Javier, 2 away.
Show your Pick and Save Advantage Plus card at any county stadium ticket window to purchase up to 12 half-price upper deck seats or $2 bleachers for Friday, May 1st, Brewers versus Reds game.
2 quick outs now for Mark Newfield. Newf had the night off last night. Rookie Jeff Jenkins, up from AAA Louisville, was one of the big stories a night ago in his first major league ball game, a single and home run.
Well, a really good kid too, isn't he?
Good to have him around.
And very humble, very reserved. Talked to him before the ball game on the open, and those words that he was saying, he really means them. Not all full of himself. He can hit.
Yeah. Yeah, let's face it.
Let's forget about all that other stuff.
Even if he was full of himself, he can hit. That's not the case, though. Newfield tried to check the swing. They appeal down to first. You better believe it. Boy, when they appeal in this National League, 9 out of 10 times they're going to ring you up. Kirk Reuter has retired 6 in a row to start things tonight. Bottom of the second, scoreless.
Here is today's Team Tires Plus trivia question. Who's the only Giant to win the Cy Young Award? You know that, don't you?
I believe I got a handle on that one.
You grew up around here.
I think I know that one. JT Snow will lead things off for the Giants in the bottom of the second. Snow, Javier, and Sanchez against right-hander Paul Wagner.
Is his number retired here?
Yes.
Then I know it.
Okay. 2-0. JT Snow came on as a late replacement yesterday.
There's my bet.
Yeah. It's my guess, too. And we're told we're wrong. Smarty Pants producer director Gary Kirby, who has the media guide open in the truck, tells us we're wrong. All right. Grounded to second base for Vina. And Snow is retired to open the bottom of the second.
Just set us up, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. Showed it on the camera. Yeah, took a shot of it and everything. That was great. Only Cy Young Award winner ever in the history of the San Francisco Giants.
No, it said Giant.
San Francisco Giant, right?
No, didn't
Giant?
it just said Giants?
New York Giant and all? San Francisco Giants. All right. I hate not knowing those questions, by the way. It really bugs me. Javier with nobody on and one away. Stan Javier's been heating up. Had a bunt single yesterday. Also a slap single as a right-handed batter. He's turned around and batting left-handed against the right-hander Paul Wagner here this afternoon. This is where most of his power comes from, the left side. Much more dangerous from the left side of the plate. One-hop comebacker. Wagner's got it. 2 away.
Well, Wag's keeping the ball down very well so far this afternoon. 3 ground balls, a couple of strikeouts. Throwing the ball pretty hard today, too. Watch the ball sink as it gets to him. Right on the outside part of the plate, tries to pull it, easy out.
Two out, bases empty for Ray Sanchez, making his second consecutive start at shortstop. Sanchez made a whale of a defensive play on a line shot by Jeff Cirillo in the first inning last night. Runner at first. Cirillo had a screamer back up the middle against Oral Hershiser. Sanchez was able to glove it and turn it into a double play ball. Heading for the corner in right. Burnett's on the run, and it's into the seats. They had 14,000 plus last night in the midst of the cold and the wind. They're expecting a little bigger crowd here this afternoon. Nice day for baseball. Fans here are counting the moments until Pac Bell Park opens up in a different part of the San Francisco area. Similar situation to what we're going through in Milwaukee. 700 days until they get their new yard. Boy, the year 2000, I'll tell you, not only will we see new ballparks in Milwaukee and San Francisco, but Detroit and Seattle. Two and two on Sanchez. Ray Sanchez has had a lot more success against right-handed pitching than he has against southpaws. Kind of an unusual split for him. Count even at 2-2. Take a look, a called strike 3. Wagner drops a breaking pitch over. 3 punch outs for Wags through 2 innings this afternoon. A well-pitched ball game thus far. We'll head to the 3rd scoreless. You're watching Brewers baseball on MSC.
I'll catch all your hockey action right here on MSC. Tune in for a battle in the IHL at home as the Milwaukee Admirals battle the Houston Aeros. Don't miss the face-off coming up next. For your total coverage of Wisconsin action, keep it right here on MSC, your ultimate sports connection. Milwaukee Admirals have a 2-1 lead in that series.
Playing well. I know you're excited about that.
Yeah. Dane Lorenz, the goalie, playing well in the playoffs again.
Jose Valentin leading things off in the Brewer 3rd. So far, Kirk Reuter has disposed of all 6 Brewers that he's faced in rather standard fashion. A couple of punch outs. No problems thus far for the Giants southpaw.
Dusty Baker trying to shake things up for his ball club. Darrell Hamilton out of the lineup today with a bad heel.
There's a called strike 3 to Valentine. 3 strikeouts for Reuter.
Well, not a whole lot of mystery as to what Reuter is going to try and do. The straight fastball. Well, he has you looking away. Perhaps in the back of your mind you're thinking about that changeup, and he zips that 4-seamer on the inside part of the plate.
Here's Mike Matheny now. Mike with a couple of hits last night. Drove in a couple of runs and has run a hitting streak to 5 games. Reuter out of the wind. In for a strike, 1-1. One of the things that you've got to deal with Kirk Reuter is his pace of game. He likes to work very quickly out there. And you can see Mike Matheny put 1 foot out of the batter's box after every pitch. It's something that the Brewer hitters are very aware of. You've got to slow him down out there. He rarely shakes off a sign and gets right into his delivery.
Well, and as a hitter, you have to try and disrupt that rhythm. He has obviously got the rhythm, and he wants to make you work to his rhythm, very much like a basketball game. Slow the tempo down, speed it up, step out of the box.
2-2 to Matheny, grounded to second for Kent. To Snow, 2 gone.
It's Major League Baseball for Kids Magazine Day, Tuesday, May 5th, and all kids 14 and under receive a free copy of the official Kids Magazine from Major League Baseball. You ever seen one of those?
That's a great little publication.
That is. That's outstanding.
Here's Paul Wagner now. Wags is 1 for 7 as a hitter in 1998. A couple of good hitting pitchers featured in this one. Reuter among the better hitting pitchers out there. Scoreless in the top of the 3rd this afternoon. Comebacker, Reuter handles it. And for 3 consecutive innings, it has been 3 up, 3 down against his San Francisco southpaw. Middle of the 2nd, still scoreless. You're watching Brewers baseball on MSC.
Well, here's the question. Who is the only Giant to win the Cy Young Award? Mike McCormick, 1967, 22-10. I knew that. 2 20-game winners in the National League that year. Ferguson Jenkins, the other. He was 20-13.
All right.
Did I redeem myself?
You did.
Okay.
Nicely. I'm still looking for my opportunity. Bottom of the 3rd. Brian Johnson to lead things off for the Giants against Paul Wagner. Scoreless through 2.5. Paul Wagner and Kirk Reuter matching one another pitch for pitch so far today. In stark contrast to the track meet we were at last night, where the offense was fast and furious. It ended in an American League-like 7-5 score. 2-0. He had a chance to chat much with Paul Wagner's family. They're out at the ballpark all the time at County Stadium.
I've not. No, I haven't.
Good
You?
folks.
Yeah.
Good folks, I'll tell you. Paul wanted to say hello to his parents tuned into us this afternoon back home.
I had a chance to sit with them at the Diamond celebration over the winter. You were there.
That's right. Ball 4 to Johnson. First walk of the ball game. Take a look at this.
Now batting number 46, Kirk Reuter.
Very nice.
Wasn't bad, huh?
No lessons, no anything, huh?
Bob Betts, look out. Kids in San Francisco looking for your gig. Here's Reuter now with the leadoff hitter aboard. That's Johnson at first base. Cirillo pulled in tight at third. Get a load of this stat on Reuter. Take a look at how the Brewers are defending him. Certainly you can't take anything for granted with him. Cirillo in anticipation of the bunt. But dating back to last season, he has hit safely in 6 of his last 13 starts.
Yeah, he can hit.
Nice job with the bunt. Wagner's got the one play at first base. The sacrifice works. Johnson to second.
Well, you wonder why National League games are lower scoring. That's why.
Marvin Bernard.
Boy, she churns those names out there and just bolts to the sidelines, doesn't she?
Yep. Yeah, it's almost like you have to only get 8 outs every time around the batting order, as opposed to 9 in the American League.
Johnson at second base with one away, an RBI opportunity for Bernard. Mentioned how Marvin Bernard has been used primarily as a pinch hitter this year by Dusty Baker. He's had some good success coming in off the bench. His first start of the year didn't come until April 15th.
A pretty good player to have on a ball club. Can play pretty much all of the outfield position. He's a veteran. He's been around. He can pinch hit. That's the kind of guy you want to come off your bench. A veteran, knows himself as a hitter, knows the league a little bit.
2-0. Bill Miller waiting on deck. Scoreless in the home half of the third. Giants have had a couple of base runners get as far as second base. That's about it for their offense. The Brewers haven't managed much else. They've been kept off the base paths all night long. Or shall we say all day long? You pick. Is it getting on 4 o'clock back home? There's ball 4 to Bernard. Not the worst thing in the world to have happen with first base open and 1 away.
Well, the one thing you don't want to do is put too many base runners on in front of the teeth of this order. Billy Miller, Barry Bonds. You don't want to pitch to those guys too often with men on base, particularly that guy. Well, you do set up the double play.
Miller's done a good job with runners in scoring position this year. 5 for 16. 1 away, 2 men on. We'll be posting you on scores throughout the afternoon. One game's a final in the National League. Cincinnati shuts out the Mets. David Weathers over Masato Yoshi at Shea Stadium this afternoon. A lot of night games on this Saturday night in the National League.
Good job by Matheny keeping the runners right there. Another good block. You come to expect that from Matheny. Watch the way he squares the shoulders, keeps the ball right in front of him, right down on the knees, doesn't try and catch the ball. It's the way it's done.
Wagner shooting the outside corner, doesn't miss by very much that time. 2-1. Bonds on deck, Kent in the hold. Runners aboard for San Francisco here in the third. That evens a count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. Still even at 2-2.
Paul Wagner, you can really use a ground ball, get out of the inning, get that hard sinker down in the strike zone, preferably on the outside part of the plate, and hope Miller tries to pull it. And if you're Bill Miller, you're looking for something up in the zone.
Got him swinging. That's a big strikeout for Wags, his 4th of the afternoon.
And that's exactly what it was. It was a hard slider on the outside, hard sinker, I should say, on the outside part of the plate. Well, had some good downward movement on it, and Miller tried to pull it.
Barry Bonds now with 2 away. In the first inning with a runner at second, Wagner would come up with his 2 first strikeouts of the day, big ones to Bonds and Kent. Working to the Giants slugger with men on here. Misses in tight.
Now this is where a hot Jeff Kent really helps a guy like Barry Bonds. You certainly don't want to face Kent, the on-deck hitter, with the bases loaded the way he's swinging the bat. Because you don't want to go after Bonds too aggressively either. That's exactly what Matheny's going to talk about. Brian Johnson, a catcher out at second base, has been out there pretty much the whole inning. And if anybody's going to be able to pick off signs from a catcher, it's going to be another catcher. It might have been just changing the signs up out there.
One ball, no strikes on Bonds. 4 home runs in his last 10 games. Into the corner and right, but foul. Dusty Baker, in evaluating what he has faced past 4 games against Milwaukee, has certainly been rather complimentary of the Brewers staff, obviously, because they pitched so well against San Francisco. But Baker was quick to dole out praise to Mike Matheny as well. He said, enough about this American League pitching stuff. It's the catcher that really helps out the staff, and this Brewer club has a very good one. It's to say nothing about his offense. He's talking about the way he's handled the Brewers staff for their first go-around in the National League.
And being very cognizant of what these National League hitters like to go after. Go through the order a couple of times the first game of a series, and you have a pretty good idea of what a particular hitter likes to go after. And Matheny's done a good job of noticing that.
2-2. Wagner picks up the outside corner. Well, he is pitching very carefully and very effectively to Bonds thus far.
As you mentioned, walking him isn't the worst thing in the world, but if you can make pitches like that, don't so much the better. That's a dandy.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Runners aboard. Wagner kicks and delivers. Misses high. That'll fill it 3-2. Again, it's Jeff Kent waiting on deck. Count is full. Here we go. The payoff to Bonds. Swung on. Popped him up. High sky today. Burnett's in right. Tracking. Amidst the swirling wind, puts it away. Great job by Paul Wagner to strand base runners. Bonds leaves another pair on base. We played 3 from 3 com. Scoreless. Fans, all season long on Brewer telecast, will be playing the snapper mow-em down inning. If the Brewer pitcher mows down the opposing batters 3 up 3 down by any means, a lucky viewer will win a snapper walk mower valued at $350. If there's not a 1-2-3 inning, a contestant will still win 4 Brewer tickets to an upcoming home game. To enter, send your name, address, and telephone number to this address on your screen for a chance to win in the snapper mow-em down inning. We're going to get that going pretty quick.
Yeah. Kirk Reuter has been mowing him down so far tonight. This afternoon, I should say.
Pena, Loretta, and Cirillo to try their hand against Reuter here in the 4th. He has retired all 9 batters he's faced this afternoon thus far. You'll recall his last start against the Brewers back on the 19th at County Stadium. He at one point retired 13 in a row tough.
Yes, he is. When you go up there, you just don't know what you're going to get. And once you get it, if you get the fastball and you're looking for it, Reuter has the ability to keep you off balance. Take a little off, put a little on, have you on the end, on the handle.
Vina sprays one to the opposite field. Bonds is there for it, however, one away. Well, since 1990, there is only one left-hander in Major League Baseball with a better winning percentage than Kirk Reuter, and that's Yankee left-hander Andy Pettitte.
Better than Randy Johnson, huh?
Better than Randy Johnson.
Wow.
The top 5 winningest left-handers as far as percentage is concerned since 1990. Andy Pettitte, who has won at a .675 clip, then Reuter, then Scott Radinsky of the Dodgers, then Randy Johnson, then John Tudor, and that's since 1980. As I say John Tudor, I think, wait a minute, that can't be right.
Yeah.
Makes it even more impressive.
Yeah, I faced John Tudor. He was a Red Sox back then.
That's right. People forget about that deal. Put that one in the Jeff Bagwell category.
Yeah.
Red Sox had got away. 2-2 on Mark Loretta. Grounded to the left side. Miller makes a good play from third and gets his man. 11 in a row laid down by Kirk Reuter.
Fans batter up for Icelandic brand Fish Fry Fridays. Enjoy choice beer battered fillets and all the trimmings every Friday night at County Stadium. Plus receive a half price upper deck coupon. Call 933-9000.
Here's Cirillo now. Done a good job against San Francisco this year, as those numbers indicate. Jeff doubled in 4 trips to the plate last night. Reuter working quickly.
You mentioned that play that Cirillo made last night in the bottom of the 9th inning. Line drive off the bat. Looked like it was going to be a base hit. Cirillo, I asked him, he didn't think he caught the baseball. He wasn't sure. Ended up being a line drive out, double play. Pretty much squelched the San Francisco rally in the 9th inning. Still doesn't know if he caught it. Looks up here.
He was asking us.
Like he did, yeah. He doesn't know. How do we know?
There's ball 4 to Cirillo, and the first Brewer base runner of the afternoon. Took the nasty Kirk Reuter 3 2/3 to allow a Brewer to reach.
Now batting right fielder, Jeremy Burnett.
That'll bring up Jeremy Burnett. Jeremy with the huge night last night, the 3-run home run, a great running catch in the corner in right. Something we've seen him do a couple of times already this season. Strike 1 to Burnett.
Brewer's starting to open up some eyes in the national media all of a sudden, getting some top billing on some of the news shows and some of the highlight shows.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
About time.
You bet. They should.
This current trip, this 5-game swing west, is going to really do wonders for the perceived legitimacy of the Brewers' first place run. It's early in the season, and a lot of people have discounted the great start due to that fact. Hey, it's early. Well, if the Brewers can get off of this trip with a winning record, say go 3-2 in San Francisco and Los Angeles, it's going to be tough to look past them.
Well, it's funny, every time the Brewers have a series in front of them, that's what you're going to be hearing, because that's exactly what everybody was saying when the Giants and the Dodgers came to County Stadium. Well, this is going to be a gut check for the Brewers. This is going to be a watermark for the Brewers. Let's see how they do. Well, they won 5 out of 6.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And then after this trip, the Brewers return home for a long homestand. Some pretty good teams coming to County Stadium. San Diego, Houston.
Nice long homestand. 10 there.
Big one.
Yeah.
3 with Cincinnati over the weekend. And the first place Western Division Padres come to town for 3, a day off, and then the Astros for 3. That is really a nice homestand.
Yeah. Fishing season opens.
That's a big week for you, isn't it? Wow.
Yep. May 2nd.
Ball and 2 strikes on Burnett. Cirillo from first with 2 away. Got him swinging. 4 strikeouts this afternoon for Kirk Reuter. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th, still scoreless. Hey fans, it's time for the MSC Have a Ball giveaway. Today's Have a Ball winner is Bev Hetzel from West Bend, Wisconsin. Congratulations, Bev. You've won an autographed baseball from Fernando Vina. For your chance to win an autographed ball, send a postcard with your name, address, and telephone number to MSC Have a Ball giveaway. Riverfront Plaza, 1110 North Old World 3rd Street, Milwaukee 53203. An autographed ball will be given away during each MSC Brewers telecast in the MSC Have a Ball giveaway. Brewers and Giants scoreless as we head to the bottom of the 4th this afternoon. Matt Vasgersian, Bill Schroeder, and producer-director Gary Kirby. A great day for baseball here in the San Francisco Bay Area. One more with the Giants. That's tomorrow afternoon. We'll be here for a 3 o'clock start. Then the Brewers heading south about 350 miles to take on the Los Angeles Dodgers for a pair. The series begins on Monday. We'll have both of those covered on the tube as well.
Dodgers put up some runs yesterday.
Oh boy, did they.
12 against the Cubs.
Jeff Kent opens the bottom of the 4th. Kent, Snow, and Javi are the 4, 5, 6 part of Dusty Baker's order. Soft liner to 3rd. Cirillo is here for it. 1 gone.
Meet the Brewers during Ohio Casualty Insurance Autograph Fridays. Each week prior to a Friday's game, receive a black and white Brewers picture card and get it autographed. Join 6 to 10 players and Ohio Casualty Insurance every Friday all season long. Call 933-9000.
JT Snow, the batter now. 1 away, the base is empty. You know, we talk about the West Coast trip, Bill. We talked about how the Brewers really struggled in the American League West on the road last season, going 4-13 in Oakland, Anaheim, and Seattle combined. Completely different story against those teams at Milwaukee. But on the road in the West, it was really tough going for the Brewers last year.
Well, no surprise when you go into Seattle. Very good ball club, good pitching, and the Brewers historically have had trouble in the Kingdome, but the troubles that the team had in Oakland were something of a mystery to Phil Garner. One of the worst teams record-wise in all of baseball, and Oakland just owned the Brewers last year.
Ball and 2 strikes on JT Snow. Base is empty, 1 away. But it was for these reasons that a lot of people looked at this first West Coast trip in 1998 with a squinted eye. Now that's going to tell us a lot. So far, the Brewers have responded nicely. And a lot of people thought that this was rather early for the Brewers to be coming west, when you consider that the Brewers are yet to see a club from their own division. Already seen plenty of the National League East. You better believe it. A rather casual punch-out call by Joe West. JT Snow knew it, and that's strikeout number 5 by Wagner.
Well, they tried to get him to pitch before. JT was able to check his swing, and this is a pretty good fastball right on the outside corner, and Joe West is giving Wags a couple inches off that corner. Well, if he's going to give it to you, you try and hit it, and Wagner's been doing it.
5 strikeouts for Wagner thus far today, and that's his season high. 2 away for Javier.
And Wagner's throwing hard today. Good velocity, good location, good movement on the sinker. I don't think he's thrown any changeups, hasn't needed them yet.
Jammed him. A little flare out to short. Valentin there for it. A very quick 1-2-3 inning for Paul Wagner in the 4th. 4 complete in the books from 3Com Park in San Francisco. We're scoreless. You're watching Brewers baseball on MSC.
MSC delivers the best of the best on Fox Formula One Racing. See racers from all over the world compete in the San Marino Grand Prix in Italy. Catch the power of Formula One Racing tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. on MSC, your ultimate sports connection.
Marquise Grissom leads off the 5th for the Brewers. First ball swinging. He hits a ground ball here to Ray Sanchez.
Scored 1-6-3 on the putout.
So 1 away as we're into the 5th. Mark Newfield, the batter, scoreless. Top of the 5th inning. 1 hit combined this afternoon. And that was the base hit by Bill Miller with 1 away in the bottom of the 1st against Paul Wagner. Wagner and Reuter have both been brilliant today so far. Soft ground ball to first. Very routine for Snow and Reuter, 2 away.
That's a good example of the way Reuter has handled the Brewers in his last couple of starts. Really, nobody's had any solid contact. Vini hit the ball well his last time up to the opposite field, but this time Newfield off the end of the bat. Easy ground ball for JT Snow.
How about that shot of Alcatraz we saw a moment ago? That was Alcatraz Island for fans back home not familiar. You ever been out there?
No.
The Rock?
Scary, man. Can you imagine? It must have been a tough place, huh?
You know, every once in a while some news guy will do some shtick where he'll spend the night over there at Alcatraz. Forget it.
No.
Kinds of animals living over there. You'd be hearing things all night. I think it was like the ghost of the Birdman of Alcatraz or Capone or one of those guys coming back for him. Popped up. Johnson trying to make it stay playable, and he can't make the play.
Well, a lot of foul territory here at 3Com Park, probably the most of any park in the National League, very similar to the Coliseum in Oakland. Long way to go. And Brian Johnson overruns it, pops out of the glove. There's that wind again. That's a tough play for Johnson. Had a long way to go. Probably should have had it. It's going to give him an error.
And it's blowing. No question. So the error charged to Johnson. Gives Valentin another crack at it with the count of 2 strikes.
Kind of a tough error. He was running pretty good on the ball. Certainly wasn't camped under it. Wasn't an easy play. I wouldn't have given him an error.
Well, you're a very sensitive 90s kind of guy.
Caring guy, yeah. You would have given him an error?
I don't think I would have. No. I'm with you. Here's a base hit for Valentin. First of the afternoon for the Brewers. Good at bat by Jose that time.
Well, the error is going to cost Kirk Reuter his bid for a no-hitter. 2 outs in the 5th inning. And a clean base hit off the bat of Jose Valentin. Well, you give him another try. Fastball down in the zone and wraps it into left field.
2-out base runner for the Brewers on their first base hit of the afternoon. Now it's Matheny. I spent some time with Jose before the ballgame talking about his approach with Kirk Reuter. And he, of all these hitters in the lineup this afternoon, was most adamant over how you've got to change his pace. You've got to step out with him out there. It doesn't look like he's really rushing pitches, but once he gets a sign, he never shakes off Brian Johnson. They work well together, and before you know it, he's already into his motion to the plate.
There's not a whole lot to think about. A fastball and a changeup. I think it's been pretty much all fastballs. Very few changeups, and why not? If they're not hitting the fastball, why go to anything else? He's thrown 1 or 2 sliders today. Not much of thought what you're going to throw when you're doing that. see if Jose Valentin get a jump and get into scoring position from Matheny.
They've got Valentin picked off. Doesn't even get to the bag before Sanchez can apply the tag. Not a bad idea with your number 8 hitter at the plate, but the Giants read it well. Nothing in the Brewer 5th. Midway through, we're scoreless. You're watching Brewers baseball on MSC. Paul Wagner is in the midst of a dandy here this afternoon. He and Kirk Reuter both just 2 hits combined, 1 hit apiece. As you see, Wagner has struck out 5, walked only 2. This has really been a masterfully pitched ballgame. Sanchez, Johnson, and then the pitcher spot here in the bottom of the 5th inning for San Francisco.
Well, Wagner's been in trouble in a couple of innings, the 1st and the 3rd, but able to get off the hook. Pitching well with runners in scoring position.
Grounded back up the middle, a leadoff single for Sanchez. Just the 3rd hit of the afternoon, the 2nd off Wagner.
Well, Ray Sanchez getting on base for Dusty Baker. That shortstop combination of Aurelio and Sanchez paying off. Bounces it up the middle. They wonder Ray Sanchez might try and steal a base to get into second base. Bottom of the order here.
Here's Brian Johnson having a tough go of it against Milwaukee, as you can see. Sanchez can run a little bit. Wagner will keep his eye on him. Ball games where offense is so limited for both clubs. Hits are few and far between, and then on that rare occasion when you get a base runner, you really want to make things happen from the dugout. Let's see if Dusty Baker has something going with Sanchez and Johnson. Line to right for Burnitz. 1 away.
On a game like this, just getting a man in scoring position seems to be a big deal. Brewers have yet to get a man to second base. Giants have been able to do it a couple of different innings.
One out. Sanchez still aboard, and Reuter will bat in his turn. And a very good hitting pitcher is Kirk Reuter. He's 2 for 9 this year. Squares around a bunt and gets it down. Wagner to first, and for the 2nd time in as many at-bats, Reuter executes the sacrifice.
The pitcher really can help himself. He's able to advance base runners. Reuter does it for the 2nd consecutive at-bat. Deadens the ball very well right in front of Wagner. Only play to first base. 2 outs. Man on second. You mentioned it, Kirk Reuter, a pretty good hitting pitcher. In a game like this, why not let him swing? And Dusty Baker make a couple of interesting decisions in the last couple of nights.
Marvin Bedard the batter now with a runner at second and 2 away. And none more interesting than last night when he had Jim Poole out there in a situation where you'd certainly guess he'd want to go to a pinch hitter. He had Poole out there trying to bunt late in the ball game with the Giants behind, and even with 2.
They were down by 3 runs. Normally you see a manager go to his bench and get a hitter up there, but he left him in.
Counts the ball and a strike on Marvin Bernard. Broke his bat on that foul ball. Runner at second is Sanchez. Wagner has dealt with a runner at second base twice this afternoon, with Sanchez reaching here in the 5th, make it 3 times. But in innings 1, 3, And now in inning 5, the Giants have had a runner in scoring position. Grounded back up the middle. That might bring one home. And will. The ice is broken here in the 5th on an RBI knock by Marvin Bernard. 1-0 San Francisco.
Now the Giants unsuccessful in their first 2 attempts with a man in scoring position. This time Marvin Bernard. Wagner tries to get the sinker on the outside part of the plate. Gets too much of it. Able to get the base hit up the middle, and the Giants with a 1-0 lead.
So Bernard aboard now. He can run. That'll bring up Bill Miller. And there goes Bernard on the first pitch. Miller smokes one, headed for the gap. Burnett's back at the track. It bounds against the wall. Burnett plays it quickly and brings it back in. Bernard's going to score. 2-0 Giants.
Well, the sacrifice by Kirk Reuter certainly paying dividends. Got the man to second. The base hit score him, and 2 consecutive base hits, 3 in the inning, have the Giants on top 2-0. Billy Miller hits that one a ton to right center field. You can see Valentin deking Bernard at second base. He slowed him down, but not enough to keep him from scoring. All the way from first base.
Barry Bonds the batter now. Been kept quiet by Wagner so far this afternoon. 0 for 2. Three hits in the inning for San Francisco. The first time either club has managed back-to-back hits. And it's translated into 2 giant runs here, bottom 5. We said this when Kirk Reuter faced the Brewers back on the 19th at County Stadium. The way he's pitching, you can ill afford a deficit any bigger than about 2 or 3 runs.
Yeah, 2 runs looks like a lot. Paul Wagner being very careful of Barry Bonds. He had him 2-0. I was surprised they didn't go ahead and walk him. Now 3-0. They're going to walk him.
But Bonds doesn't even stay in there for ball 4. And he wonders why he's such a controversial player. Come on, Barry.
Yeah, he was intentionally walked more than any player in the major leagues last year. He's used to it.
So now it's Jeff Kent, 0 for 2. Miller at second base, Bonds aboard at first. Kent is hitless against Wagner this afternoon. A couple of big games against the Brewers at County Stadium. Switch hitting JT Snow waiting on deck. 2-0 San Francisco. Both runs here in the bottom of the 5th. Hit a bunch back to center field. Grissom is there for it, however, and squeezes it for the final out. 2 in the 5th for San Francisco, however. At the end of 5, the Giants lead it 2-0. Fans see the best in Midwest golf as we hit the greens of the Midwest Team Golf Championship coming up. It's Burl Oaks versus the Hastings Country Club tomorrow at 9 on MSC, your ultimate sports connection.
Well, we head to the 6th inning. Kirk Reuter with a 1-hitter. Then he grounded out the shortstop on the first pitch. 1 out already here in the top of the 6th. That'll bring up Paul Wagner. Wagner grounded back to the pitcher his first time up. Swing and a miss. All right, Reuter going right after these Brewer hitters. As Matt mentioned, you got to really disrupt his timing. Slow him down, perhaps. Wagner hitting 125 this year. 0-2 pitch. Fouled away. It's a good day to be out at the ballpark. Saturday here in San Francisco. Perfect pitch on the inside corner. Slow call by home plate umpire Joe West, but that's the second out of the inning.
Joe West does not have the most convincing of strikeout calls, but there was no doubt about this pitch. Shooting the inside corner. Joe West just kind of stands up and says, "Yep, take a seat."
Strikeout number 5 for Kirk Reuter. 5 2/3, only 1 hit, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. Very similar to the way that he pitched back in Milwaukee. Bring up Fernando Vina. Vina is slowed down somewhat with the bat in the last few games. Tries to bunt his way on, fouled it off.
One thing that I've noticed about Kirk Reuter, in addition to working very quickly, this is the second straight start he's made against the Brewers, and he does not get very deep into the count.
No. Well, if you're a hitter, you know you're going to get a fastball. You get one that you like, and you go after it. Ground ball to Jeff Kennett, second base. Another easy inning for Kirk Reuter. That'll do it for the Brewers. 3 up, 3 down. Boy, Kirk Reuter cruising along through 6 innings. 2-0 Giants.
Fans, make your plans now to see Brewer pitcher Mike Myers at the Brewers Clubhouse Store. Mike will be at the Clubhouse Store in Brookfield Square Mall Saturday, May 9th from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m.
Now JT Snow swung at the first pitch, leading off the bottom of the 6th inning, and the bat went into right field. Joe West was pounding his hands toward the dugout saying, "Get him some pine tar." Good sinker. There goes the bat. Looks like a hammer throw.
When's the last time you saw an umpire call for more pine tar?
Yep. JT Snow, Ray Sanchez, and Brian Johnson due up. Ground ball to first base. Fair. Mark Loretta steps in the bag for out number 1. Except for a rough 5th inning for Paul Wagner, we'd have a heck of a ball game on our hands. As it stands, we still do. 2-0 Giants. Bring up Stan Javier. Javier hitless in 2 trips. Fastball away. Ball 1. When you talk about Dusty Baker in his outfield, has been relatively unproductive. You know Barry Bonds is going to be out there for the duration. Ball inside.
Yeah, we've seen the Giant bats start to heat up a little bit here this afternoon. A couple of big clutch hits by Bernard and Miller. It's the kind of thing they're going to need to jumpstart this offense, which to date has been rather dormant.
Well, one of the things that the Giants have been talking about is shaking this lineup up a little bit. Ground ball to Loretta again. 2 hops, and he'll go to the bag for the 2nd out here in the 6th inning. A couple of ground ball outs for Paul Wagner here in the 6th. You see John Johnstone up in the bullpen. I'd love to see him get in the game.
Yeah, and that's no knock on John Johnstone. He's got pretty good stuff, but we need to get Kirk Reuter out of there. Nobody can touch him today.
Somehow. We got Ray Sanchez 1 for 2. He also scored the first run of the ball game. Swing right through a fastball down the middle. Giants have been talking about bringing up a couple of young outfielders from their AAA, Colorado Springs, Dante Powell and Jacob Cruz. Fouled back, 0-2. Check that. They're in Fresno.
Relocated their AAA club from Phoenix to accommodate the Major League Diamondbacks to Fresno, California. Yeah, they've got a couple of young guys down there. Dante Powell, a former #1 choice, and Jacob Cruz, who's had a couple of big AAA seasons the past couple of years.
You got to wonder who's going to go. Sten Javier is going to be around. Barry Bonds just brought up Jeff Ball from the minor leagues today. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's going to be the 3rd out for the inning. Through 6 innings, the Giants on top, 2-0. Station to receive your Amoco Come On Back Club card. Make 5 8-gallon minimum gas purchases and earn free Brewer tickets. Stop in today.
Look at all those bagels. 2-0. Brewers have managed just 1 hit against this nasty left-hander, Kirk Reuter. This is not a crafty left-hander, folks. As is generally the case when you hear left-handers described. He gets by on guile and moxie. He's crafty. He knows how to pitch. Reuter's nasty. He's got good stuff.
Got a good fastball that he can throw on either side of the plate. Doesn't sink the ball. A couple of change-ups and just about all fastballs. Not too many starters can get away with that.
Just foul.
Not too many relievers can get away with that.
No, this is true.
Mariano Rivera, Troy Percival, maybe. No, Kirk Reuter, not the kind of guy that throws 95. He's in the mid-80s at best, but he's very sneaky. He talked to some of the Brewer hitters after the ball game at County Stadium. They said he's surprisingly fast. You don't expect it to get on you that quick.
0-2 on Mark Loretta. Grounded to short. Sanchez circles up on it and throws him out.
Another ball hit down on the trademark. Brewers are not able to get the meat part of the bat on the baseball. And not the good wood. A little bit down on the handle and an easy ground ball for Ray Sanchez. That's been the story. Not too many hard hit balls today for the Brewers.
Kirk Reuter, folks, has faced 1 over the minimum through 6 1/3. The Brewers have managed only 2 base runners. Cirillo's walk in the 4th, Valentine's single in the 5th. Here is Cirillo now with 1 away and nobody on in the 7th. Well, flash back to the 19th of April, and this was the point in the ballgame that the Brewers were able to knock Reuter out finally. After 6 2/3, the Brewers managed just the 1 run on 4 hits. As little as that offense was, it's been even less here today.
Well, the score was 2-0 then, too, in the 7th.
Fly ball to right. Wynn's got a hold of this one. Takes Bernard all the way to the track. 2 away. Jim Poole has joined John Johnstone in the Giant bullpen.
Yeah, you've got to wonder if Reuter's on a pitch count, because there's really no other reason why you'd have your bullpen up.
Well, if you recall, you and I wondered the same thing after they lifted him from 6 2/3 in Milwaukee last week, and he was dealing.
Yeah.
He put 1 base runner aboard, and all of a sudden Baker gave him the hook.
Yeah.
So possible that it's the same situation here today. We can only hope. Burnett's out in front, 1-1.
Yeah, one of the few breaking balls that Reuter has thrown. That was a slider to Burnett's that time.
Reuter struck out Burnett's looking in the 2nd, swinging in the 4th. 2 of 5 strikeouts for the Giant left-hander. Reuter has struck out 5. Paul Wagner has K'd 6. It's been a well-pitched ball game. Little pop. No one's going to get to that one.
Well, those last 2 pitches came very close to hitting Burnett's, and Jeremy swung at both of them. Boy, this last one in particular, watch how close the pitch is to Burnett's. Man, how do you get any kind of wood on that?
Jeremy's shaking his head, saying the same thing to himself.
You swing at it, you wonder how it didn't hit you.
Ooh, that looks good. Still 1-2. The Giants probably revisit the deal that brought Kirk Reuter to San Francisco on a daily basis and pat themselves on the back for it. Towards a gap. Burnitz is going to be aboard. Javier cuts it off quickly. Jeremy thought about two, thinks better of it. A 2-out knock for the Brewers, just a second hit of the afternoon.
Well, you don't want to take any chances down by 2 runs. 1-0 game, maybe tie game. You might chance it if you're Burnitz with good speed. Boy, a good at bat by Burnitz. Looked like Reuter had his number, but Jeremy hung in there until he got a pitch that he can handle.
And that will give Marquise Grissom a chance with the runner aboard and 2 away. Comes Dusty Baker.
Yeah. Well, you know who feels pretty good right now after that Burnitz hit? Brian Johnson. Had that base hit by Valentine been the only hit of the ball game for the Brewers, Johnson would have felt pretty bad because that came right after he dropped the foul pop. I see Dusty Baker asking Reuter if he's okay, and there's no way Reuter wants to come out of this game.
No way.
You all right? You bet I am.
Now recall that Reuter's last start against the Brewers in the 12th inning, Marquise Grissom was a batter. John Johnstone, who's in the Giant bullpen currently, was on the mound when Grissom's base hit would win for Milwaukee. This time Reuter wants to control his own destiny. Marquise is hitless in the series, 0 for 6. A big opportunity for the Brewers to get back in this ball game right here. Runner at first with 2 gone.
Well, Marquise has been the Brewers' money guy in the first few weeks of this season. The Brewers, when they need a big hit, a big RBI, it's usually been Marquise late in the ball game.
Grissom's just 1 for 10 lifetime against Reuter. Includes an 0 for 3 last weekend at County Stadium. (2-0) San Francisco, top of the 7th. Ball and 2 strikes on Grissom. Mark Newfield, the on-deck hitter for the Brewers. Only John Johnstone remains in the San Francisco bullpen at this point. The right-hander on deck. Jim Poole has sat down. There's a little flare into right. That's going to drop. And it gets past Marvin Bernard. Burnitz is being waved home. Grissom might score on this bad boy. They hold Marquise at third, and it's a 2-1 Giant lead.
A big mistake by Marvin Bernard out in right field. Too anxious to go to the ball and make a throw. Forgets about it, goes right under the glove, and that allows Burnitz to score. Boy, look at that piece of hitting by Grissom. Just dinks it out into right field. Now watch Bernard. Can't get to it. Ends up rolling onto the warning track. Burnitz scores easily, and Marquise took a big turn around third base. Now watch Burnitz turn the corner at third base. It looked like he was going to give it a shot, but Joe Youngblood thought better of it. Here's Marquise. Notices the ball getting by him, thinking, I think I can score. He's chugging around second base. Right now, he's thinking about going home. Nope.
Yogi Berra said it was deja vu all over again. Brewers down by a run. The departure of Reuter. On comes Johnstone. The Brewers trying to come back. A pitching change. We'll be right back. That what was Kirk Reuter, they knock him from the ball game at the same time. They get on the board to make it just a 1-run ball game, and the Giants go to the bullpen for right-hander John Johnstone.
John Johnstone, a sparkling 0.73 earned run average, 1-1 on the year, his 9th game today. 10 strikeouts in 12 1/3 innings. Good slider, good fastball.
Rich Aurelia, the new shortstop. That's the double switch for the Giants, and the Brewers counter this move with a pinch hitter. It's Jeff Jenkins to swing it off the bench. A successful major league debut last night with a single and a home run. Runner at third is Grissom. The Giants with just a 1-run lead here in the 7th. Well, flashback to the 19th of April, just a week ago. Reuter was dealing, was removed from the ballgame with a 2-0 Giant lead. The Brewers would end up winning it. Here, a week later, Reuter dealing once again, removed with a 2-1 lead. Brewers trying to come back yet again.
Well, that magical 7th inning seems to be the friend of the Brewers against the young left-hander. You see Jose Valentin waiting his turn.
Grounded to the right side, a good play by J.T. Snow, and that saves a run. Fine defense by the Gold Glove Award winner at first for San Francisco. Brewers do get one. 7th inning stretch at 3Com Park, 2-1 Giants.
Look at the Discover Card payback playback. We talked about the slick fielding of the Giant infield this year. Ray Sanchez on a Mark Loretta ground ball. Good strong arm over to first base. The Discover Card payback playback.
Jeff Jenkins will remain in the ballgame in left field in place of Mark Newfield as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Brewers are on the scoreboard finally here in San Francisco today. Paul Wagner will continue on the mound. He faces the 8, 9, and top of the order hitter. Johnson followed by the pitcher spot, and top of the order Marvin Bernard, whose costly miscue last half inning opened the door for the Brewers. 1-1 on Johnson. Grounded to short for Valentin. 1 away.
A heck of a play by J.T. Snow to end that 7th inning. The ball off the bat looked like it was going to be a base hit until you realized who was playing first base. One of the best glove men in all of baseball at first base.
It's Rich Aurelia here to bat in what was the pitcher spot, but after the double switch, it is Aurelia the shortstop here in the 9 hole. So with one gone, Aurelia. Giant fans are feeling that way these days. Not quite sure what to make of their defending National League Western Division teams' 10 and 12 starts.
Yeah. They'll get hot. Yeah, too much offensive talent on this ball club.
You know, when you look at it, last year Dusty Baker got huge seasons from what they call the big 3 here. Bonds, Kent, and Snow in the middle of their order. Last year that threesome combined for 97 home runs and 326 RBI.
Yeah.
Each of them had a huge year. This year that same trio is on a pace for just 27 home runs combined. Of course that's not going to stay that way.
No.
But it tells you the slow start that they're off to. I was amazed when I read further about that big year that the big 3 had. The Giants have never had 300 RBI guys since being in San Francisco. Fly ball for Burnett. 2 out, bottom 7. Now, if I were to ask you, did Mays, McCovey, and Cepeda ever do it? Or did Clark, Mitchell, and Williams ever do it?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, I would have certainly thought so.
And Will Clark was there, too.
Will Clark, Kevin Mitchell, and Matt Williams?
Yeah.
I would have bet that.
Oh, you said Clark?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dollars to donuts that those guys did it. And if not, you'd think that Mays, McCovey, and Cepeda would have done it.
Yeah, those 3 you'd figure.
Marvin Bernard with 2 away now. Bullpens are going to play a big role here today. It's going to be interesting to see the way it shakes out.
Two pretty good bullpens. Giants have the best bullpen earned run average in the National League. Brewers aren't far behind.
Three and 0 to Marvin Bernard. Paul Wagner has struck out 6 today. He has walked 3, one of them intentional. 3 and 1. Tomorrow, Mark Gardner for the Giants in the finale of the series. Full count now on Marvin Bernard. Jeff Juden gets the start for the Brewers. He was a San Francisco Giants circa 1996. There's history between Juden and this lineup. That should be a good one tomorrow.
Jeff Juden throwing the ball pretty well, huh? Last outing at County Stadium, a complete game. Both Juden and Wagner, two of the big question marks going into spring training about the starting staff, have done a pretty good job.
3-2 pitch bounced out to Vigna. Good play to his right. Gets Bernard, and Wagner gets the Giants in order in the 7th. We played 7 complete from 3Com in San Francisco this afternoon. Giants lead the Brewers 2-1. You're watching Milwaukee Brewer baseball on MSC. And draft National League scoreboard at this hour. Cincinnati has defeated. What did they defeat there? Man, that moved awfully fast. Thanks. Cincinnati has defeated the Mets. David Weathers and Jeff Shaw combined on the shutout. Everything else is at night. Just 2 day games in the National League today. Ours here at 3Com, and that Cincinnati Mets game. I'm just a day late and $1 short today. There's no 2 ways about it.
Well, you're home.
Check the American League for you a little later on. It's a time change, I think.
You too, huh?
Yeah. Jose Valentin leads off the 8th for the Brewers. Valentin, Matheny, then the pitcher spot for the Brewers against the reliever, John Johnstone. Kirk Reuter done after 6 2/3. He was brilliant today, yet again. His bullpen trying to hold it up for him this afternoon. How are you enjoying San Francisco here?
I like it here. I've always liked it here.
You know, we didn't have a chance to talk about it much yesterday, but you did yourself some walking yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Yeah, down to the wharf. What's that, about a 3-mile walk from the hotel, maybe more?
It's a pretty good walk.
Uphill, downhill, side hills.
Mm-hmm.
A good aerobic workout.
Get down there and have yourself some seafood?
Yep. I broke even. Did all that walking, ate a bunch, and just broke even. That's all I did.
That's good. Big swing and a miss from Valentin. One away from John Johnstone in the 8th.
A pretty good pitch by Johnstone. Looked like the slider had Jose way out in front. Takes a little bit off. Looked like a splitter.
Here's Matheny now with 1 away. High fly ball trying to get towards the stands. A bunch of defenders out there as the bullpen scatters, and Bonds makes the Franklin Stubbs basket catch on the bullpen mound.
Yeah, that's a tough mound down there in the left field line, and particularly the right field line. Those things are extremely high off the ground. And Barry Bonds is very familiar with how to play a ball over in that area. Makes the basket catch a la Willie Mays. We like to refer to him as the Franklin Stubbs catch.
Still works. 2 gone now. And the Brewers will send up a pinch hitter in the pitcher spot. Bob Hamlin will swing it off the bench. Hamlin had a pretty good night yesterday. A couple of walks and a single. Right-hander Al Reyes has joined Mike Myers in the Brewer bullpen. So Johnstone will work to the left-handed power hitter Hamlin. Hamlin off to just a 2 for start. There's 2 hits in a Brewer uniform so far.
Well, 2 choices for Phil Garner, Bob Hamlin or Jesse Levis. Phil elected to go with the power. Perhaps Hamlin may be able to get a hold of one and tie this ball game up.
One ball, 1 strike on Bob Hamlin. Johnstone working quickly, as did Reuter. And it's to 1-2. The Brewers only had to see Giant closer Rob Nen once during that last series at County Stadium. And certainly the less that you see a guy like Nen, the better off you are, because it means the Giants aren't in a position to finish ball games.
Yeah. It means you're winning.
Should this score hold up, you got to assume that we would see Nen in the 9th, and he's tough. Two balls and 2 strikes on Bob Hamlin. Fernando Vina waiting on deck. Got him swinging. Johnstone gets the Brewers in order in the 8th. We'll go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. 2-1 San Francisco. You're watching Brewers baseball on MSC.
Safe enough for me to sit here. Everybody come on back.
That's great, George. Go get him.
You don't buy it, huh? No? Good gesture.
Since when did you and Steinbrenner become pals?
Well, no, it's nice. You know, the owner to sit in the exact spot where the beam came falling down.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm a little pessimistic when it comes to some of his stunts, I suppose. Bill Miller to lead off the 8th. Miller, Bonds, and Kent here against a new pitcher for the Brewers. Left-hander Mike Myers takes over for Paul Wagner. Bill Miller with a line shot out to left center and hangs up for Grissom, 1 away. There are the numbers on Myers. He's been outstanding, appearing in his 12th game of the season already this afternoon, and ranks him among the league leaders. Paul Wagner done after 7 strong innings today. And unfortunately for Wags, he will do no better than a no decision should the Brewers be able to come back. They're going to have to try and get it done against that guy, Rob Nen, in the bullpen for San Francisco.
Tough customer.
Al Reyes still up for the Brewers behind Myers.
I'm probably getting up to face Jeff Kent.
Myers faced Bonds once last weekend at County Stadium. Struck him out. 2-1. It's been 2 runs on just 4 hits, a couple of miscues by San Francisco. A run on only 3 hits for the Brewers. We are late, bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, good slider by Mike Myers. Not too many guys in the National League throw the way Mike Myers does, and Barry Bonds can just smile about it. Tough pitch right here. Watch where it starts out. Starts right about at his hip and ends up on the outside part of the plate.
Went to it again, and Bonds fouls it away. Close the line on the starter, Paul Wagner. 7 strong innings today. Allows it 2 runs. They were earned on just 4 hits. Walked 3, struck out 6. That's not the kind of line normally associated with a loss. But should this score hold up, that's what's going to happen. The Brewers will have one more crack at it in the 9th. Full count now, 3-2. Myers tried his luck with a fastball over the inside there. Oh, where did that miss?
Well, just missed the inside part of the plate, and Phil Garner wants Al Reyes.
That didn't miss by much. Let's look at that one again. On 3-2 to Bonds.
Well, let's umpire from up here.
Ring him up, baby.
Well.
Yeah?
Oh, I'd ring him up.
Yeah. Wow. Tough call. Giants get a base runner out of it. Another pitching change. We'll be right back.
Kids, enter a participating grocers to win the Clements Honorary Bat Boy Bat Girl contest. Have your photograph taken on the field, receive Brewers souvenirs, and meet a player. Clements, it's easily the best.
Well, as Bill speculated a moment ago, walk to Bonds notwithstanding, with Jeff Kent the scheduled hitter. Bill Garner has gone to the bullpen for his right-hander, Al Reyes.
You see the numbers on Al Reyes, 1-0. A 9 earned run average, but it has come down in his last few starts. Really had a rough start to this season. 7 hits in 5 innings, 5 strikeouts.
So Al Reyes on to try and keep this deficit at 1. 2-1 San Francisco. Runner at first base for the Giants with 1 away. And runner Barry Bonds always a threat to steal. He swiped a club high 5 already. Jeff Kent, among those Giants, very vocal about how frustrating the past week and a half has been. They've been getting pretty good pitching performances, especially out of today's starter Kirk Reuter, but have been unable to score for him.
Well, Jeff Kent, the kind of guy that he knows the offense is going to get going, but you can't fall too far behind San Diego. They're playing pretty well, and San Francisco already has a lot of ground to catch up on. You can't squander good pitching performance, as you mentioned.
Kent told the San Francisco Chronicle over the weekend, you feel like pulling your hair out. I'll be the first guy to pull my hair out when you can't score for a guy like Reuter, who's just dealing on the mound for you.
Now let's take a look at the Hoover pickup of the game for this afternoon. Good play by Barry Bonds over by the bullpen mound. Makes a basket catch. The Hoover pickup of the game.
Counts a ball and 2 strikes on Jeff Kent. Runner at first is Bonds with 1 away. Giants up by a run here in the bottom of the 8th. Got him swinging.
A good fastball by Reyes. He got the second strike on the changeup. Kent swung right through it, and then he threw him the good old country hardball right here, right down the middle, about belled high, and Jeff Kent swings right through it.
Jeff Kent is not an easy guy to strike out with a fastball. He's a pure fastball hitter. That tells you how hard Reyes is throwing this afternoon. JT Snow now.
Well, the Brewers thinking that Bonds is going to try and steal a bag. Not a bad time. You want to give a guy like Kent an opportunity to hit the ball out of the ballpark, but JT Snow has yet to hit a home run this year. Bonds would like to get into scoring position.
Not only is Snow without a home run this season, he's 2 for his last 30. He's not driven in an RBI in over a week. Not driven in an RBI?
Driven in a run.
Yeah, thanks.
Not had an RBI.
Yeah, that was not.
Well, things are bad when I'm correcting your grammar. My, oh my.
Oh, boy. 2-0 is the count on Snow. To 3 balls and no strikes now. Stan Javier waiting on deck, a switch hitter.
Well, you can't spend too much time worrying about the man at first base. Al Reyes trying to be a little bit too quick to home plate and unable to throw a strike.
Bonds with a pretty good sized lead off first, being held on by Loretta. Snow swinging away, fouls one back.
Yep, 3-0. Dusty Baker wants his switch hitter to get going here, so why not? We've got the lead. Get something to drive.
Three and one now on JT Snow. There goes Bonds again. Snow swinging once more, and he fouls it away. Full count now, 3-2. When the Brewers come to the plate in the ninth inning, it'll be with the top of the order. As good a chance as any with Vigna, Loretta, and Cirillo scheduled. Al Ray is trying to make sure that's done with just a one-run deficit, 2-1 Giants. Here's a payoff pitch coming up to JT Snow. Misses low, ball 4. So now it'll be Stan Javier from the left side of the plate. As we talked about earlier, Javier much stronger from the left side. This is where he gets his power.
Now, and this is a time in the ball game where you really would like to have another left-hander in the bullpen to turn him around. Make him hit from the weak side of the plate. Brewers don't have anybody. That's why it's very difficult to get through a season with one left-hander in a bullpen, particularly when the lefty that you do have only faces 1 or 2 hitters a game.
Ducks on the pond for Javier. Bonds at second, Snow at first. Pretty good speed out there for the Giants. Slashed. Valentin makes the play at shortstop. Oh my! To say that saves a run is a big understatement. What a play by Jose at short.
Well, this is just sheer reaction right here. No time to think about what you're doing. And you talk about the proverbial snow cone. That's what that was. Nice play by Valentin.
We head to the ninth. Brewers need a run. Top of the ninth inning, the Brewers send the top of the order up to do battle with nasty right-handed stopper Rob Nen.
Rob Nen with 35 saves in 1997 for the Florida Marlins. Good fastball, good slider. You see the numbers: 14 strikeouts in 12 innings, only 4 hits. He's tough.
0-1 on Vigna. Changes for the Giants in center field. It's Alex Diaz taking over for Stan Javier. Javier moves to right field in place of Marvin Bernard. So that's how Dusty Baker realigns the Giants to prepare for this top of the ninth inning. Vigna 0 for San Francisco. 0 for 4 last night. Hitless again today. Big swing and a miss, strike 3.
No mystery about this pitch. This is a fastball in the mid-90s. You got to make Nen get the ball down. No way you're going to catch up to it around the letters.
That is cheese. Man. Here's Loretta now.
And they were talking about Rob Nen in the World Series being clocked over 100 miles an hour. Talk about getting pumped up.
As you mentioned, 35 saves in each of his last 2 seasons with the Marlins. First ball swinging. Mark Loretta grounds to shortstop. Aurelia over to first, 2 away. Best not save your comeback attempts for when Nen is out there, because your chances are diminished when the Giants get the ball to their stopper. He's one of the best in the business. It'll all be up to Cirillo now to try and keep things alive for the Brewers. Down a run in the top of the 9th. Cirillo faced Nen at County Stadium last weekend and drew a walk. That last pitch was registered at 98 miles an hour. The radar gun over the left field pavilion here.
That proves it.
Yeesh.
We're not lying.
96 on that last one. Goodness me. 1-1 on Cirillo. And out of the stretch. He is just throwing BBs up there. That was 99 miles an hour. $18,000 plus in San Francisco on their feet this afternoon, looking for the final strike. I mean, do you go up there looking for anything but the fastball?
No. Just hope he doesn't get anything else over.
That'll do it. In rather convincing fashion, Rob Nen gets a couple of strikeouts en route to a perfect 1-2-3 ninth and preserves the victory for San Francisco, their first over the Brewers all year. It took tremendous pitching, and that's exactly what the Giants got today. Giants winners here this afternoon by a score of 2-1. Stick around. Bill and I return from 3Com Park with more right after this.